Hello everybody, my name is Christina. I'm a teacher for top20english.com. This is our second live video and I am going to teach you today some basics of using intonation in English. So the basic definition of intonation is the patterns of how the pitch of your voice rise and fall to communicate your meaning. This is super important in English. It communicates so many things. But the thing is that native speakers are not aware that intonation communicates so much. And so basically this just means that when you use intonation incorrectly, a native speaker is able to give you a lot less grace than they usually can. Like if you mess up with something like grammar, the native speaker will understand what you mean to say, and so they won't care. They'll just keep going. But if you mess up with intonation, they will only hear what you actually communicated and not what you intended to communicate. This isn't because they're trying to be mean or anything, it's just the reality that they don't think about it. And so if you use it wrongly, they'll just hear it wrongly. So I'm sure a lot of you have had experiences of this. Maybe somebody said something and you understood all the words, but then the meaning was totally different, you found out. Or maybe you said something with all the words and you realized later that you communicated something you didn't intend to communicate. Or maybe sometimes you feel lost in a conversation. You don't know like how to participate the right way. All this can be helped with learning intonation better. So let's get started. What is intonation actually used for in English? There are 4 basic things. You don't need to worry about remembering the names of them. This is just to show you all the different ways that intonation plays a part in what you're communicating. So the first is demarcative function. Basically, this means the intonation tells you when a message unit is finished. And that's important to know when someone is finished with their sentence or their paragraph, because it shows you when it's your turn to start interpreting what they are saying. This moves on, becomes very important to the next one, which is regulative function. This basically is how a conversation is managed. Intonation plays a huge part in this. Intonation tells you when somebody is finished speaking and it's your turn to start. It tells you how a person is structuring what they're saying. It tells you if they're just talking about background information or if they're giving you the main point. Intonation can really help you learn to communicate more smoothly and interact more smoothly in a conversation. The third one is grammatical function. So intonation can actually totally change the meaning of the exact same set of words. Let me give you an example. If I say, "What did you say?" That means I'm asking an information question. Maybe you're telling me about a conversation that you had, and I'm asking you to tell me what you said in the conversation. What did you say? But if I say, "What did you say?" then I'm asking you to repeat what you just said. It's a repetition question. I didn't hear and I need you to repeat it. So, what did you say? What did you say? Totally different meanings. Another example. If I say, "Do you want coffee or tea?" I'm asking a yes-no question. I'm asking in general, do you want something to drink? Yes or no? If I say, "Do you want coffee or tea?" then I'm asking a choice question. I'm giving you the choice. Do you want coffee or tea? It will change if you understand my intonation correctly, it will change what you respond to me. Lastly is implicational function. This has to do with what is the speaker's attitude. What are they trying to show you about how they're interacting with you? Are they open and friendly, or are they just trying to get down to the point? Are they trying to show deference to you because you're an authority over them? Are they being rude to you? Are they giving you an order? Are they asking you a request? All this is implicational function, and you can learn a lot about it from intonation. This is important because it can help you understand the social situation that you're in a lot better, and it can also help you learn how to use intonation to better influence the social situation that you're in. So, how do you actually use intonation? Obviously, you can see over here, there's tons of ways that intonation affects how you communicate. And I could be here for hours telling you all the different ways that intonation can subtly communicate different meaning, but I don't want to overwhelm you with details. So I'm just going to give you some basic principles that you can take with you that will help you move forward in using intonation to communicate better and understand better. And this will also give you the foundation for learning more in the future. So to start off with, the intonation pattern comes at the end of the phrase. This means when you are listening to somebody and trying to discern how their intonation is affecting what they're saying, listen to the end of their phrase. And when you're speaking and you want to use intonation to communicate something, use it at the end of your phrase. If you end your phrase in the low range, you will signal finality. You use this for statements, short answer, and information questions. The low range also signals probably more seriousness, more distance in the conversation. It can show that you're more certain about what you're saying. It can be a little more abrupt, like you just want to get down to the point. Probably less intimate, maybe a little more formal. I'm going to read this dialogue for you, ending the sentences in the low range so you can hear kind of what it sounds like. It was good of you to come. No problem at all. Please make yourself comfortable. Would you like something to drink? Some tea would be nice. So when I read it this way, it sounds kind of like it's probably a pretty formal setting. Like maybe it's two work colleagues getting together for a meeting. They're just settling in before they start the meeting. There's not going to be a lot of just chatting about life. It's going to get right down to the point. It's a little more distant between them. They're not expressing intimacy in their relationship. And you can tell all this because the end of each sentence is in the low range. It's final. We're not going to move too much forward with this. If you end in the mid-range, it will signal non-finality. Basically, this means there's more to come. So in a conversation, this shows you that the person is not done talking. It's not your turn to start yet. It can also show closeness, maybe deference to authority, maybe more interest in what the other person is saying, more openness, more friendliness. Often it will show that you're less certain about what you're saying. I'm going to read this dialogue ending in the mid-range to show you the difference of meaning that it makes. It was good of you to come. No problem at all. Please make yourself comfortable. Would you like something to drink? Some tea would be nice. So when I read it this way, it sounds more like two friends just getting together, talking. They're probably not going to be getting right down to business in a meeting. They're just talking about, they'll probably just end up talking about life. They're closer to each other. It's a less formal setting. Finally, if you end your sentences in the high range, this will change the grammatical meaning of what you're saying. There's way more things I could talk about with this, but we don't have time. So we'll go back over here. You can use the high range to create repetition questions. So you see here, when it's a repetition question, I ended it in the high range. What did you say? I'm asking you to repeat what you said. Whereas when I ended it in the mid-range, I was asking for information. What did you say? Same with this one. You can create yes-no questions with the high range. Do you want coffee or tea? I'm asking yes or no. Do you want something to drink? Whereas when I ended the mid-range, I'm giving you the choice. Do you want coffee or tea? So the high range changed it from a choice question to a yes-no question. You can also use the high range to change a statement into a question. So when I read this as a statement, you need a haircut. I'm ending in the low range or the mid-range, depending on what the situation is. I'm just telling you, you need a haircut. But if I use the high range, then it will turn it into a question. So I would say, you need a haircut? It's still the same words, but it's asking a question. So to summarize all of that, there's so many details with intonation. You will be learning about how to use intonation correctly forever. But these principles will help you in the basics of learning to manage a conversation, in the basics of understanding people's attitudes better, and understanding maybe how grammar is being changed. Remember that you need to pay attention to the end of phrases. Remember that the low range signals finality and distance. The mid-range signals non-finality and closeness. And the high range can totally change the meaning of the sentence that you're saying. So I'm going to post a picture of this whiteboard in the comments so that you guys can use it for future reference. If you have questions, just write it in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Remember to check out our website at top20english.com to find more resources for learning English. Bye!